From the News Channel 5 network, this is SportsLine.
All right, SportsLine is on the air and on your television. John Burton with you on a Monday evening. Normally we don't get together on Monday evenings, but these are very special circumstances. Filling in for Steve Lehman tonight, and if you haven't heard, Steve is a very fortunate young man, to be quite honest with you. Steve was in Kansas City on Friday covering the Titans-Chiefs preseason game. After his post-game duties were done, he was in a cab with a friend going to get something to eat, and apparently a woman ran a red light and T-boned his cab with him in the passenger seat, and Steve was seriously injured as a result. He was in the hospital for a couple of days, suffered a neck injury, a rib injury, and some facial lacerations, but thankfully he's out of the hospital. He was discharged from the hospital yesterday, Sunday. He is heading back home to be with his family in his hometown of Champaign, Illinois, and we wish him a speedy recovery, but probably won't be seeing Steve for a while, so you'll be stuck with me for a while. Hope that's okay, and if it's not, as my dear sweet mother Eleanor once told me, you can't please everybody. But I am pleased to be with you tonight. And once again, if you'd like to tweet Steve a get well wish, he'd love to hear from you. He has two Twitter handles, at Steve Lehman and at NC5_Steve Lehman. So if you'd like to send him a get well tweet, he'd love to hear from you. He wants to certainly thank all the viewers who have sent him well wishes and prayers. I'd like to thank you for that as well. And we hope to get Steve, the best sportscaster in Nashville, Tennessee, back and on these airwaves very soon. But again, Steve recovering back home in Illinois, and we look forward to seeing him back here, hopefully sooner rather than later. Again, at Steve Lehman or at NC5_Steve Lehman. By the way, I also have two Twitter handles. If you'd like to tweet me, you can do so at John Burton 32. And or at NC5_John Burton. But great to be with you on this Monday night under unusual circumstances. But your phone calls are welcome, 737-7767. A lot to get to tonight, folks. It's football season, okay? College football is starting for real this week. I got a lot that I want to hear from you about. I want to hear from UT fans. How many wins for your Vols this year? I want your predictions. Big Orange, I'm calling you out. What is your prediction for the 2015 Team 119 Tennessee Vols? High expectations this year on Rocky Top. A lot of people saying 8 wins, 9 wins, perhaps win the SEC East and go to Atlanta for the SEC Championship game in December. What say you? Tennessee Vols fans, I want to hear from you tonight. Also, Vanderbilt fans, I want your input as well. Of course, Commodores open things up, the college football season, Thursday night. At home, they will host Western Kentucky. Interesting matchup for Vanderbilt in that game. Western Kentucky comes in with that high-powered offense. Their quarterback, Dowdy, almost 5,000 yards passing, led the nation. 42 touchdowns, also led the nation. A dangerous, dangerous offensive team coming in to West End on Thursday night. Of course, Derek Mason now in charge of the Commodores defense. We're going to hear from him a little bit later in case you missed it last night on the Electric Power Company's Sunday Sports Central. We went one-on-one with Vandy coach Derek Mason. So Black and Gold Nation, Big Orange Nation, I want to hear from you. And SEC Nation. You know, the folks up north, they're talking a lot of you-know-what, especially in Big Ten country, in the Midwest, in the upper Midwest. Big Ten honk says the SEC's dominance in college football is over. We meaning the Big Ten, we're the new big boys on the block. We are the ones who dominate college football. You buying that, SEC fan? Are you ready to concede that the Big Ten is now the dominant conference in college football? How does that make you feel? They're talking a lot of stuff up there in Big Ten country, with Ohio State beating Alabama in the national semifinal championship game. Let me say that again. The national semifinal. Down 21-6 to Alabama. They come roaring back and dominate Alabama. They're saying it's our time now. We've got Jim Harbaugh. We've got James Franklin. We've had Urban Meyer. We've had Mark D'Antonio. We've got the coaches. We've got the athletes. We're the big boys on the block up here in the Big Ten. You buying that, SEC fan? Let me know, 737-7767. And another item, as we also will talk Titans throughout the hour as well. And we're going to hear from Jimmy Wyatt from TitansOnline.com at the bottom of the hour, so make sure you're staying tuned for that. Head coach Ken Wisnut saying today he's still not 100% sure if Marcus Mariota will play Thursday night in the Titans preseason finale against the Minnesota Vikings at Nissan Stadium. This is a rookie quarterback that you hope will be able to start all 16 games and get you enough wins to get to the playoffs. With all due respect to Ken Wisnut, and I do respect the guy a lot, known him for a long time, he needs to play Marcus Mariota at least a couple of series Thursday night. It's a rookie quarterback. You have to put a couple of good drives together to wrap up the preseason, wrap up training camp, and get this guy feeling good about that opener in Tampa Bay a week from Sunday. I think Marcus Mariota has to play at least a couple of series on Thursday. Do you agree or disagree? I want to hear from you. 737-7767. Marcus Mariota's had a great preseason, a good preseason, 70% completion percentage. He's shown leadership. He's shown toughness. But I don't think the book's closed on Marcus Mariota. Why not get him out there for a couple more series? I understand you don't want to risk getting him hurt. But this is the same team that says, hey, we like Zach Mettenberger. We think that we can win if something happens to Marcus Mariota. It's a chance you take. This is football. This ain't ballet. Marcus Mariota, I believe, needs to play on Thursday night. Maybe you agree, maybe you feel differently. 737-7767. That's the number to call. So, I want to hear from Big Orange fan. I want to hear from Black and Gold fan. And I want to hear from SEC fan. And I want to hear from the Titans fan about Marcus Mariota. So there you go. You have all your topics laid out for you. I should not have one open line. We should have nothing but the football discussion from here. Pause when Jim Wyatt comes on. And through the rest of the hour. Let's see what Marty has to say on line 2. Good evening, Marty.
Hey, how are you?
What's up, man?
Oh, not much.
What's on your mind tonight?
I was going to talk about Vanderbilt and what the defense is.
Yeah, what are your thoughts? You know, Derek Mason basically saying, you know what, if you want something done right, you got to do it yourself. He's calling the plays. He's running the defense. He will come up with the game plan each week defensively. They're going to have their hands full against Western Kentucky. What do you think?
Yeah, they're going to have their hands full, but I still think they got one of the best defenses in the SEC. Yeah.
They really did improve towards the end of last year. You look at the Tennessee game, the last game of the year. They gave the Vols all they could handle for a while. And obviously, Tennessee eventually got the better of them. But you could be right. With Derek Mason running the show now, look, there's going to be accountability. I think they're going to be more assignment sound. But again, this is going to be a tough test for them because Western Kentucky's offense is explosive. How many wins this year for Vanderbilt? What's your prediction?
I predict Vanderbilt will go. I think they'll win 7 games.
7 games. I got you down for 7 games. So that would be, what, 7-5?
Yeah.
So 7-5, and they'll, sounds like you think they'll make a bowl.
Yeah, they'll make a bowl. They'll make a bowl game. The defense too good not to, man. They're that good. Yeah. Yeah,
it'll keep them in a lot of games. We'll see how things go. Thanks for the call. We appreciate it. Let's go to Will on line 3. Good evening, Will. What's up?
Hello, John. This is Will.
What's up, Will?
My question is for Mr. John. How's Mariota going to throw without interception this season?
Pardon me?
Yeah. How's it? Well, is Mariota going to throw an interception like he did in the preseason? That's the problem.
Well, it's one interception, and there was a lot going on that play. I mean, if you're asking me if he's going to go through the entire season without throwing an interception, the answer is no. He will throw interceptions. He will make mistakes. He is a rookie. But what you do like about Marcus Mariota, and thanks for the call, is he seems to have a short memory. You know, you look at the times where he's had a bad series or he's made a mistake. The Atlanta game is a perfect example. Turnovers on his first 2 possessions, and then his last possession, he leads them down the field on a touchdown drive. And we've seen that. He's overcome adversity. He seems to be a guy that doesn't get rattled too much. that doesn't really let mistakes bother him. Will he make mistakes this year? Absolutely he will. But he needs to get out there and learn. That's why I think he needs to play Thursday night. We'll take one more call before the break. Joseph, good evening, sir. What's on your mind?
What's on my mind?
What's happening?
Big Tennessee Vol and Titan fans.
All right, bring it. What do you got for? Let's start with the Vols. What are you thinking this year? How many wins?
2. I say maybe about like 11.
11 wins. Well, that would certainly almost definitely win them the SEC East and get them in the SEC championship game. And if you win that game, you're probably a lock to make the college football playoff. You're that confident this year that they can win 11 games. Why?
Why? Because I think they might have a good defense this year and a good running game on offense, and the quarterback
Josh Dobbs. He's good. Yeah, he makes a lot of things happen. He's dangerous.
So he's so tough out there. He can just hurt you. And on the Titan side, I think Marcus Mariota is going to try his best to just make some big play happen in his best Thursday night preseason.
Should he play Thursday? Do you think he should play Thursday? Because Wisenhunt is considering sitting him out. I think he should play. Do you agree?
I agree on you on that. I like to see him play in his last preseason game against Minnesota. But somebody on that wide receiver has to step up for him.
That's a good point. Thanks for the call. Look, he's got some pretty good chemistry right now with Kendall Wright. They hooked up for a few plays in the Kansas City game on Friday. But, yeah, I do believe Marcus Mariota needs to play at least a couple of series on Thursday. Try to end the preseason on a good note. Get ready for Tampa Bay because he's the guy. He's got the keys to the Titans offense and the franchise. So, and I know a lot of people that will be heading out there Thursday night will want to see him play. Now, that's not why you make that decision if you're Ken Wisenhunt. However, I think from a football standpoint and from a confidence standpoint, he needs to get out there and play. With all due respect to Ken Wisenhunt, who says he honestly does not know what he's going to do yet, I think he needs to have Marcus Mariota play on Thursday. My opinion. I want your opinions on the Titans. Should Marcus Mariota play on Thursday? SEC, is the dominance over? Is the Big Ten the new big boys on the block? I want to hear from Black and Gold fan how the Commodores going to do this year, and Big Orange as well as they open up here in Nashville Saturday night against Bowling Green over at Nissan Stadium. How many wins for Vandy and UT this year? And your Titans thoughts as well. If you're on hold, stay right there. We're going to go to a quick break. We'll come back. We'll take your phone calls. Stay with us here on SportsLine.